it's just a different type of feeling.
This is college football as good as it gets. Wow! What an unbelievable play. Unreal! Heisman!
It's the Kickoff, presented by Ram Trucks. Yes, the venue has changed, but the vibes and the content has not. Gary Striewski, Spencer Hall, joining the program. We only call in the big guns when we're talking important shows because we are creeping our way, Spencer Hall, towards the CFP to that January 8th national championship. Now, disregard the logo on your left breast. You're still excited for this final grouping of 4 teams that we're finally going to get to see. And I know you're still happy because Florida State is still mad.
Everyone's happy when Florida State's mad, except for Florida State. We do have Michigan v. Alabama in.
Hey, they don't want that.
The granddaddy of them all.
Michigan doesn't want those problems.
What, you don't want the Rose Bowl?
No, Michigan wants the Rose Bowl. They don't want Alabama being part of that.
Yeah, no, did you hear that when they got announced?
They were so mad. Ooh. They were so mad. And then you got Washington, the undefeated Pac-12 champs, led by Heisman finalist. Maybe he'll be a Heisman winner. We'll all know tomorrow night at the Heisman Awards ceremony in New York City, taking on Tejas. Texas, a one-loss conference champ in their last year in the Big 12. That's what we get this year. But everybody likes to project and think about, oh man, why don't we just expand the field this year to 12 or to 8 or to 6? Well, Spencer,
we can do that.
We can do that. And we will. Let's just keep it with the same format too. You got the 6 highest ranked conference champions, and then you have the next 6 highest ranked at-large teams, which gives us, Spencer, you've already brought out the bracket.
Look at this.
A field of 12, and we're working in the, let's just call it the Eastern region.
Sure.
And let's play this thing out.
The right region.
Let's play this thing out. The 4 CFP teams, they have a bye week. They get through. But who does Washington play? Give me Ohio State. I like Ohio State.
Okay, well, we've already seen this, okay? Because in a 12-team playoff, you will inevitably get rematches.
Yes.
Okay, rematches can be very exciting.
Okay.
I don't think this would be one of them because Penn State, largely inert, didn't do a whole lot against Ohio State in a low-scoring defensive game. I think you would see a replay of that if these two were to play again. So I think the team that Washington would face at the next level would be your Buckeyes.
Penn State's defensive coordinator, Manny Diaz, he's out. He is no longer the defensive coordinator for the absolute brick wall that was this Nittany Lions defense. And what we saw from Kyle McCord, and in that game specifically, Ohio State didn't turn things on until the second half. That being said, that's the right matchup.
Yeah, I think that's the right. I think that's the right matchup.
That's the right matchup.
Okay.
Who does Texas get? This is a team that I think should have been in the CFP.
Okay,
I digress.
You think that.
I digress.
But for those of us who have been on the Lane Kiffin upset wagon and have had the football pulled out from us repeatedly, okay, why would we fall for that again? Why? Why would we do that? Why would I let my finger? No, it's Georgia. Georgia. No, I'm not going to do that. It's Georgia would be here, and we would get a matchup, a very good one, might I add, between Georgia and Texas.
That's good old-fashioned Southern football right there. This matchup right here is a whole hell of a lot of Bud Heavy. Yeah. This is Bud Heavy and PBR.
You don't get much more college football than a matchup between a cow and a dog.
Come on.
Okay?
It's man's best friend.
Yeah.
I like the Georgia pick. Again, I think they should have been one of the CFP teams, 29-game win streak, and they only lost to Alabama by a possession, but this is a reason why a lot of people don't like the 4-team format because it leaves teams like Georgia who the majority of these teams who we see in this 12-team bracket would not want to play. Okay, we go from the East region to the West region. We got the Big Ten champs despite 2 suspensions in the same season that bookended their regular season for head coach Jim Harbaugh, who's about to sign like a $55 million contract extension. Michigan, they're on to the next round. Missouri, I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
No.
I don't mean that.
Wait, are you calling it?
No.
Are you calling it?
Actually, no, I wouldn't. You call it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call this, okay? Because I do think this is an outstanding matchup because Missouri has been a tough out all year long, a breakthrough year or Eli
so you are calling
Drinkwitz. No, I'm not. I'm not. Absolutely not. Not with Bo Nix there. not at all. Okay. I think Missouri's a great story. I think they've done a lot of really good things this year. However, I think that Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks have more than enough firepower to move past them and then get to the matchup that we wanted to see here between Michigan and Oregon.
Although Coach Drinkwitz did say that since Connor Stalions is a free agent, the next call that he was going to make to Reese Davis when he joined him was to one Connor Stalions to help him.
Eli got jokes.
Eli does have jokes.
Eli got some.
All right, we got. Who does Alabama get?
Yeah, it's Florida State.
Oh.
It's Florida State. Liberty has one of the weakest schedules. Congratulations on going undefeated against it. However, I do not think this is close.
They have their starting quarterback. Can I just make a case that they have their starting quarterback?
You can make that case.
You buy him?
The judge is overruling. We're going to go ahead. We're going to advance Florida State to Alabama. Yes, even without Jordan Travis.
That's another Bud-heavy matchup right there, Florida State, Alabama. We'll just stay here.
Yes, we're advancing. We're advancing. Okay. Michigan, Oregon. I think this is a matchup of two teams with, I think, complementary weaknesses.
Sure.
I think Oregon's going to force them to score.
Yes.
I think that Michigan's going to force Oregon to run the ball because all Michigan wants to do is run the ball. I think this is a frustrating game for both teams, a very low-scoring game between the two teams. However, I think that blunt force, hard to beat.
Okay.
It's hard to beat in a football matchup. So I will advance Michigan, and I think this is when Florida State's shortcomings offensively due to the injury to Jordan Travis, we're assuming that happened in this world.
Yes.
I think it finally catches up to them, and we get a matchup that we already have.
We get the matchup that we're already going to get.
Yes.
I love how in our fantasy world we still have to play by the rules of reality, and Jordan Travis is still by way then injured, and Tay Rodemaker, and then we got Brock Glenn. Okay, so you get the matchup that we're going to get on New Year's Day's Rose Bowl out there in Pasadena. Who do we have in the next semifinal?
Next semifinal, I'm going to go ahead and go. We'll work bottom to top here.
Okay.
Georgia v. Texas. I think this is, again, a very, very close matchup. I think it is a superb exercise between two skilled football teams. However, I bet on beef in more than one way. T'Vondre Sweat and the middle of that defensive line, I think, wins out because nothing like pressure to bust some pipes, and that's what Texas is capable of putting.
And by the way, it's getting cold out there. Make sure that you keep your heaters and thermostats at least above 50. You don't want your pipes bursting in this weather. That's a whole mess.
Speaking of whole messes, this game itself is going to be a whole mess because I feel like Ohio State simply cannot keep pace with what Washington does offensively. We're going to go ahead and advance Washington here.
So we get the same CFP Final Four that we're going to get already as presently constructed. This way we're just getting rid of 2 layers of tournament ball. But actually, who's in the Natty?
Well, let's go ahead. I think between Michigan and Alabama, Gary, I'm going to let you.
Dude, give me Bama. Dude, nobody wants Alabama right now. By all accounts, objectively, to a man, people are saying this is Nick Saban's best construction and coaching job that he's had, doing so much with relatively so little compared to the teams and the talent he's had in years past. He has these dudes balling. That's why I think Jalen Milroe should have at least gotten an invite to New York City as a Heisman finalist. Give me Alabama in the national championship over Michigan.
I'm about to show you why a 12-team playoff might feature a few more replays and remixes of what you saw in the regular season than you might anticipate. Because I think this is an outstanding game. In fact, I think when this game happens in real life, it is going to be the best X's and O's matchup of the season by far. However, again, don't bet against beef. Don't bet against the ability to place pressure on the opponent in the middle of the offensive line. I like Texas and Alabama. I think we're going to see it again.
And this is a home game, basically, in Houston. All right, just south of, and again, another Bud-heavy game. Just keep your lights at home. They don't want to drink the high noons. All right, this is Bud-heavy. Give me diesel. Give me something thick. Give me something straight. I don't need any chaser. All right, who's winning the Natty, Spencer?
I'm going to go in the Bud-heavy whole cream, pure sirloin, thickest of the thick. I got to ride them. Texas.
You don't mean that.
I do mean it. I do mean it because again, football is a game played along the line of scrimmage. And if you've seen the line of scrimmage that Texas puts forward, beefy.
I'll let him have it. V for victory.
Yeah, hook him.
Number 1 is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number 2 is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number 3 is you should have your emotions moved to tears. could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
V for victory, more importantly, V for V Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. It's game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. And remember, 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Quick point of clarification before anybody gets too confused. This actually isn't a Photoshop. This is a real-life picture of me and Spencer Hall in space. The first time we visited Club Portal, which is actually a destination, Spencer, that you and I are going to head to right now. But not just us. I mean, the line to get in this thing is like New Year's Eve. It's amateur hour. There's 1,500 people waiting to get in who have already been in, and then 1,500 basically right behind them. This is the NCAA transfer portal activity on day one, nearly 1,200 players. Now, even before this, you could sort of declare yourself for that. So nearly 3,000 FBS players have either made their way into or out of or expressed interest in going there. But look at these numbers. It's not Joe Schmoes. We're talking about players who are going to be in bowl games soon, 538 scholarship players. We got nearly 100 scholarship quarterbacks. And this is where I'm going to toss the ball up to Spencer here to sort of talk about some labor statistics as we look at some of the marquee quarterbacks who are going to be finding new campuses to call home next season, presumably. I mean, we got some guys like Kyle McCord, who lost one game. Riley Leonard is a guy who lost his head coach, as is DJ Uiagalelei. But Spencer, the number behind how many people are transferring from school to school has gone up pretty substantially in the first couple of years of the portal being a thing.
Absolutely, and with great reason too, by the way, because transfer quarterbacks have been spectacularly successful at the highest levels of the sport. We're not talking about guys who are like Sam Hartman, who transferred from Wake Forest to Notre Dame and had a good season, what I would call a good season, had a very good time. I was very happy there. Great for him. But we've seen guys go from being good or even marginal to truly great. Just look at the Heisman finalists this year. We have Jalen Daniels transferred from Arizona State to LSU and became an entirely different player, right? A playmaker, a creator, right? You had Bo Nix, who went from being this kind of inconsistent guy at Auburn to being a legitimate superstar and an efficient one at that.
And finally, after 18 years of playing college football, he's run out of eligibility.
All it takes is 18 years of college football.
All right, you mentioned some of those quarterbacks like one Kyle McCord who lost a game for the Ohio State Buckeyes by a score, but he's declared portal eligibility. You take that helmet. Don't call the fire department. That's just fog from the club. Okay, it's fog from the club. Spencer's going to enter the portal. He's going to come out a new man.
The portal.
No cover charge.
More smoke than one might expect.
What's the smoke from? Don't say that. It's the internet, but it's still on record.
It's from... That's right, the fog machine they've always had at the University of Miami.
That makes perfect sense.
They were the first to use this out of the tunnel, by the way.
That's true.
So it's only appropriate that they would be first out of the portal. Why are we dusting off the U's for Kyle McCord here? Well, we're doing it because I think Miami is a great landing place for him in several respects. User-friendly passing system, a definite need there now that Tyler Van Dyke himself has entered the portal and left Miami, leaving them with a hole at the most important position on the field. But also this. What else does McCord have to achieve at this point? He was already the starting quarterback at Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
So why not go to a completely different experience? Increase your ambient temperature by about 40, 45 degrees. Keep the pants in the drawer more often, more of a shorts-based lifestyle there. And also still manage to play at a really prestigious program with high visibility. So, the U.
The benefits of being a Division I quarterback follow you whether you're playing in Columbus or you're playing down there in Miami. All right, we'll stay in the ACC. What do we have here? Duke's Riley Leonard, who lost a big portion of his season to injury. He had the leg, he had the toe, he missed a handful of games. Didn't have the numbers that he had in years past there at Duke, but he also lost his head coach to Texas A&M. I don't think he's going to make his way down to College Station. Let's see if I have to pay a cover. I don't. Into the transfer portal I go.
There you go.
It's super smoky in here. Don't be alarmed. You're going to like this. You're going to like this. Golden Domers. moves, which, by the way, Notre Dame, no stranger to in very, very recent history, to pluck in a quarterback from the ACC in Sam Hartman and having him lead the Fighting Irish to one hell of a season. So Riley Leonard in the portal, he's done with Dookie. But listen, he's a smart kid. You don't get into Duke with dummy grades. Notre Dame, prestigious in its own right. So Spencer, I see him at Notre Dame. You say what?
I see a guy who's going to follow very much in the mode of Sam Hartman by being a guy who that offense is going to ask you to not make mistakes.
Sure.
It's going to ask you to get your protections right, run the ball. You're going to hand the ball off.
That's right.
To protect that defense. But when you need to make plays, it's going to be in a similar profile that he made them at Duke. Okay, extending plays with his legs. All right, making things happen on the fly when the play breaks down. He's capable of doing that, but not just doing that willy-nilly.
Sure. Very
careful. One might use the word judicious.
Oh, judiciously. Many men of law, men and women of law have left the prestigious University of Notre Dame. 3 touchdowns through the air, 4 touchdowns on the ground, to Spencer Hall's point with one Riley Leonard. All right, we're going to the great state of Oklahoma. Norman, Dillon Gabriel, he's gone. A 2-time transfer. Oh, yeah. He's quite used to the portal. Spencer Hall, I need you to go into that portal and you tell me where Dillon Gabriel is going to exit out of for his last year of collegiate eligibility.
Let's go ahead and take him here. He's been to Orlando. He's been to Norman. And when you've been to those 2 places, where else do you really need to go in life? Well, I have an answer. That's right. You need a little glamour. You need
Mississippi State.
Start Vegas in your life. That's what you need. Now, this is seemingly a random poll. You say
super random.
Why? Why would you do
super random?
Well, it just so happens that his former coach and offensive coordinator at Oklahoma is now the head coach of Mississippi State, Jeff Levy. They are very close. It would be as close to a plug-and-play system with plug-and-play outcomes. And when you're talking about a player like Dillon Gabriel, those numbers, the plug and play is a very attractive option. So I would say Starkville.
Spread him out and let him fly. My question here is he's going from, well, actually, Oklahoma is going to be in the SEC, but we're talking about an Oklahoma program that's a little bit more established. Now, what's to say and who's to say what they're going to look like in their first year down with the likes of Mississippi State and the other contingent that makes up the Southeastern Conference. But Dillon Gabriel, UCF to Norman to now Stark Vegas. Okay, I like the pick. Go Bulldogs. All right, we're going all the way up to Pullman. This is a coast-to-coast program. We're going down to Mississippi State. Can you spell that? Mississippi. 2, Washington State. And you're like, really, Gary? The most touted transfer quarterback is coming out of Pullman? Well, yes, in Cam Ward, another 2-time transfer. Incarnate World, and then Washington State. Where is Cam Ward going? Well, first, he's going in the portal.
Yeah, watch the bouncer. He's a little testy.
Strike the lightning!
A little grumpy.
Oh, Spencer. What do we have here?
Oh, goodness.
Ohio State, Columbus. You got yourself a dual threat quarterback back under center, potentially. With Kyle McCord leaving, and I looked at the numbers here, the stats are effectively the same. About 22, 21 touchdown passes thrown between he and McCord, and about 6 to 7 interceptions between McCord and him respectively. The difference in Cam Ward making a transfer to Columbus, he can get stuff done with his feet, unlike Kyle McCord, who registered negative 65 yards rushing for the season.
Yeah.
Cam Ward, if stuff breaks down, he's found the end zone with his legs nearly 10 times this year in 8. Ryan Day can't beat Michigan. Kyle McCord lost to them by a possession. Cam Ward, your new signal caller there, dual threat quarterback, more than Kyle McCord in Columbus. Am I tripping?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think his legs are going to be a huge difference in terms of what they can do offensively. Also, give the man a shot to level up here. He went Incarnate Word.
He leveled up.
To Wazoo.
He leveled up again.
Hand him the keys to the Ferrari.
And then just leveling up to the highest of levels. All right, we're staying out west. We're going to UCLA, the Fighting Chip Kellys. You step into that portal here in just a second, Spencer Hall, and you come and you tell me where their signal caller's going.
I'm going to take one of college football's greatest helmets into the club with me at the risk of losing it. Hopefully, I can pull out one that Dante Moore is going to be happy with.
UCLA going to get less of more, okay?
we're getting very intriguing here.
Oh, do go on.
That's right.
Really?
Sparty.
Interesting.
I think this is a very interesting pick for him, and I made this one based strictly on fit, and it's this.
Do go on.
Jonathan Smith, the new coach, okay? He's already familiar with Dante Moore's work from the Pac-12, RIP Pac-12. He's already shown that he can put a quarterback in a position to succeed.
Sure.
And with a young quarterback, somebody who's developing like this, I think you don't want training wheels, but you want to have all of the things that you need in order to protect their development. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have that because the thing that Jonathan Smith excelled at when he was at Oregon State, and I think what they'll be very good at eventually, is using the run game to protect the quarterback, moving them around, and creating opportunities downfield for not just open, but Oregon State sometimes it gets these guys like embarrassingly open downfield. Yeah. Give your quarterback layups, give them open shots, and protect them. I trust Jonathan Smith to do that. I think that's why Sparty's a great pick for him.
Okay, Jonathan Smith going from Core Vegas to East Lansing. He's already taken a half dozen of his assistant coaches there, and that is an interesting pick for the next guy I have, DJ Uiagalelei, since Sparty's already found themselves on the table. Again, DJ Uiagalelei's coach now in East Lansing. Where is DJ gonna go? And here we go. DJU is going to the program that offers him. Listen, man, I just went into the bathroom at Club Transfer Portal and I walked out with these. I think the guy who was handing everybody soap was asking for the money, but I had to walk out with it. In the world of NIL and portal and getting a high-profile quarterback to come to your system, the numbers range from anywhere between $1 million and $2 million for those quarterbacks to walk in the door. Now, I was going to go with Michigan State because of all the things that you mentioned. DJU went to Oregon State because of Jonathan Smith's system. He is now in East Lansing, but if Dante Moore goes there, DJ Uiagalelei goes there, there's going to be a logjam, which, of course, these guys want to transfer, they want to get paid, and they want to play. One of those two things might be more important than the other, and all I'm saying is that one of these guys, more oftentimes than not, are going to go where they can play rather, but they're also going to go where the money's at.
I want it on the record that Gary said he would sign with Cash Money Records. This is
representing for the 9-9-2000. All right, I better stop. We're going to the Little Apple, Kansas State. And Will Howard. That's a heavy helmet.
Yeah.
That's a heavy. Money bag, yo.
We're going to go from Kansas State. We're talking about Will Howard, who was an exceptional quarterback for the Wildcats this year. He has entered Club Portal.
Yeah.
Let's see who he's going home with once he hits the dance floor.
Listen, sometimes in Club Portal, you go.
I love this. Gusto. Gusto. That's right.
Doesn't even have to change the primary color of the uniform.
No, doesn't. Okay. And I chose Washington for Will Howard, not based on any inside information, but strictly on fit. And that is because Washington's offensive scheme rewards daring, downfield passing, relies on one-on-one matchups with wide receivers, and requires a guy who is willing to sometimes extend plays with his legs, but otherwise attack. And if you watch Will Howard play, fearless, absolutely fearless. I think this fearless Washington Huskies coaching staff and team is an ideal match. You can see, got him to the college football playoff, got him a conference championship this year in an undefeated season. I think they've worked well with transfers before. I think it can happen again with Will Howard.
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to show me something to prove that they've done well with transfers. Oh, wait, the guy who's a Heisman finalist. Okay, lastly, I have Alabama here. Tyler Buckner got a couple of starts when head coach Saban benched Jalen Milroe. We're not talking Milroe, we're talking Buckner, okay? Let me step into the portal, okay? You might be wondering, Gary, why do you have two helmets? It smells like a Halloween haunted house in here. And here we go. Surprise!
I barely even saw you do that. My goodness.
Tyler Buckner confirmed, going back to Notre Dame. Oh, but wait, he's going back to Notre Dame to play lacrosse, which is super weird.
Good for him, though.
He was like, listen, okay, it didn't work out at Notre Dame, didn't really work out at Alabama. Let me go back reset by playing lacrosse. He was like a super highly touted lacrosse guy, which I think it'd be hilarious if he wasn't. He was just like, I actually just want to try it out.
Yeah, no, this is the ultimate American sport, lacrosse. This is great. Great athletes have played lacrosse before, if you're familiar. The great Jim Brown.
Oh,
all right.
That's right.
All-time great running back.
Don't forget about Chris Hogan.
Chris Hogan as well. Yes, maybe. This is the first time we've ever mentioned Jim Brown and Chris Hogan
in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Tyler Buckner going back to Notre Dame to play lacrosse, maybe just for a year, to eventually come back and play quarterback. Probably not at Notre Dame. Probably somewhere else. Listen, we know the transfer success has led to opportunities, whether it be professionally, monetarily, or on the actual football field, in it relating and resulting into Heisman candidacy. Speaking of, 4 finalists, take a look at this.
Every football player in these United States dreams about winning that trophy. Every player considers that trophy the acme in recognition of this kind.
Came a long way. Real long way. Welcome to the Panic Show. It's not a drill. Bucket of ice on me, how should I chill?
Nix is on fire. He can't miss.
Know how I'm rocking, you know how I'm built. Still in the trenches, we out in the field.
Just a big-time playmaker. Junior's been on fire.
And the winner is...
It's time now for Built for Success, presented by Ram Trucks. Every single one of these Heisman finalists help their team build towards success this season. Let's take a look at your 4 finalists. Jaden Daniels, odds-on favorite right now, led LSU to 9-3. Michael Penix Jr., plus 1,100. He's got his team undefeated, Pac-12 champs playing in the CFP. Of course, you got Bo Nix, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., the only non-quarterback, the only player who isn't a transfer portal player as part of that finalist list, who will have their names called, maybe one of the 4, tomorrow night in New York City for the Heisman Trophy. Listen, the graphic was big enough. I think they could have fit Jalen Milroe on it. That's just me. We only have 4 finalists this year. It's time now to talk about our Heisman with our quarterback and Tennessee Volunteer, Matt Sims, joining the program. Matt, fantastic to see you. We can hear you. We can see you. You just saw that panel of the 4 finalists, Jaden Daniels being the odds-on favorite. So I want to start the Heisman talk with you and him, because some of the dejectors, maybe there's one of them in this studio wearing a suit, is saying, wait, how are we going to give a Heisman to a guy who lost 3 regular season games and he doesn't have his team in a consequential, I'm using air quotes here, bowl game? You say what to people like me who are like, well, you got a guy like Michael Penix Jr., undefeated, playing for a national title?
Yeah, I understand your viewpoint in this in every way. I absolutely do. But when you watch Jaden Daniels and what he did this year for this LSU football team, I mean, we're talking about a 9-3 football team. So a team that was hanging in there with FSU early in the year, still trying to find their identity as a team. But this guy was the difference maker and one of the best football players on the field for every single football game that they participated in. And the other aspect is, I mean, look at these highlights, dude. You don't see a lot of people doing this to SEC defenses consistently. We had all this hype about Bryce Young a year ago. Man, this dude is as good, maybe better than Bryce Young, and a better athlete, a stronger arm. You know, the other thing that I want to add too, they're 9-3. Without him, they might be a 6-6 football team at best. You know, they probably lose to Arkansas. They lose to Texas A&M. They probably lose again to Missouri as well, where he ripped off about 500 total yards of offense all by himself while missing a rib. So this dude has done some impressive things this year, and we got to show this man some respect.
Of course, and it's important to know it goes to the most outstanding player, and Jaden Daniels accounted for 50 touchdowns. That's up there with Joe Burrow the year he won the Heisman Trophy for LSU, who won the national championship that year. But at any rate, totally understand the case you're making with one Jaden Daniels, the current odds-on favorite. Spencer, who do you got?
Well, I wanted to touch on the guy that maybe is the odd man out here.
Sure.
Okay, before we go ahead and advance to, yes, give it to Jaden Daniels, okay? Because I agree. His value, when you talk about most outstanding player, there is no one more outstanding on LSU or more important to one team than Jaden Daniels.
Sure.
That's independent before you talk about the award. No one meant more to one team. But I want to talk about a guy who meant a tremendous amount to an already very talented team. I want to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State's wide receiver, 14 TDs overall, so it wasn't like he was just racking up yardage, which he also did. Talk a little bit about Marvin Harrison Jr., his role in this offense, and why I'm going to put words in your mouth. I think he's got more polish and is as professional grade a prospect that you've seen in the collegiate ranks at wide receiver in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin, what he's done this entire year has been extremely impressive, and I know how good this player is because I got a chance to see him actually in high school at St. Joe's Prep Philly, along with his high school teammate and college teammate, Kyle McCord. I was impressed then. I've been impressed now with his college career. This dude's a difference maker when he's on the football field. Statistically, he's probably like 8th in the country as far as, where he is in yards, but it's a tough year for the receiver position because there were so many good ones, but this guy absolutely, I feel like, was the epitome of just like what Ohio State was all about this year. And I feel like he's very deserving to be honored in that way. And we have to definitely consider this guy as either a Heisman candidate, right? Of course, because of his performance, but he's definitely going to be probably a shoo-in for the Blitnikoff this year.
Sure. You see the 14 touchdowns that he recorded this year for Ohio State, basically 2/3 of Kyle McCord's passing touchdowns. It was going to one Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think the one thing that maybe took away from this Heisman campaign was he didn't get the ability to play in a conference championship game because, of course, the votes are due that Monday afterwards. So he didn't get that extra game like the Penix Juniors and the Bo Nix, who I'm about to talk about next, got. Speaking of Bo Nix, all right, he was the odds-on favorite for a lion's share of this season up until the back half because the numbers he was putting up there rivaled Oregon's only other Heisman Trophy winner in Marcus Mariota back in 2014. Matt Sims, can you make a case for Bo Nix and the numbers that he put up this season for Oregon that would make him a Heisman winner?
You absolutely can make a case for him. I mean, Bo Nix, just what he's done consistently throughout this football season, is the exact same thing that I tried to teach all my young students, when I'm out there coaching these QBs and the future generations at the position. Dude's a great decision maker. He's a great leader. He's done a great job of playing tough. I mean, and the fact, too, that this guy's been through everything. This guy was counted down and out at Auburn, considered one of the most overrated recruits ever. This guy fought through that adversity, and now is coming out of the back end of this, a Heisman finalist. So he really is a lot of what we want to see at the position. A guy that's tough, willing, disciplined, knows where he has weaknesses, improves on those weaknesses, and then year in and year out just keep getting better and better. So Bo Nix is absolutely one of those guys that it's hard not to root for him because of everything that he's been through and how much that he's proved the hard way.
He's one East Coast to West Coast transfer success story, but we have to talk about the other one. We have to talk about from Indiana to Seattle, Washington. We have to talk about Michael Penix Jr., what he's meant to this team. I'm going to make this real simple. Go.
Michael Penix Jr., exactly right. When he's on the field, it's go time, baby. This guy is unbelievable. The throws that he was making in the Pac-12 championship, the throws that he has made consistently throughout the year, even in that game right there against Oregon State when it was just an absolute downpour. This dude's an absolute freak at the position. His arm flexibility, his ability to make plays while being surrounded by a lot of people in the pocket, his accuracy down the field. He's just been awesome. And what he did for the Indiana program and what he's doing now for the Washington program, this guy is an absolute baller.
I mean, when you look at the term outstanding as it relates to the Heisman, I mean, you can't say he wasn't outstanding. He's taken Washington to their first ever CFP. Matt, that being said, who's taking home the hardware tomorrow night in New York City?
This is a tough one, but I have to give it to Jayden Daniels. I do think that he was the best football player in college football this year. What he did for that LSU football team is absolutely impressive. And then let Michael Penix and Bo Nix fight out for the Maxwell Award and the Davey O'Brien Award. All three of these guys should leave and go home with some sort of hardware from what they did this year.
Well, I mean, I would give a prediction, but I am a voter, so I can't really talk
Dang. We have a voter? Yeah. Hey, I'm a voter too, every 4 years. All right, register and vote, people. All right, that's our quarterback, Matt Sims, joining us on the Kickoff, presented by Ram Trucks, to break down this crop of Heisman finalists. Matt, much appreciated.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I look pale as hell on this TV right now.
We weren't going to bring it up.
I need some vitamin D, bro. Man.
You see, here's the thing with Matt Sims. Yeah. If he would have decided to go away from Knoxville and went to Gainesville,
That's right.
you get that nice sun-kissed skin.
Lustrous glow that I have, obviously.
You guys can't see that, just exuding off of our friend Spencer Hall, who we liken sort of to Mariano Rivera. He gets called out of the bullpen to come close and save these clutch games, which he has done. All right, on this episode of The Kickoff, presented by Ram Trucks, bow down to Spencer Hall, one Heisman voter. Are you going to tell me who you voted for?
No.
He's not going to tell me who we voted for. You're going to have to find out tomorrow when the Heisman Trophy winner is unveiled. We find out just like the rest of us. For watching The Kickoff, presented by Ram Trucks, he's Spencer Hall. I'm Gary Striewski. Peace.
I predicted.